Let's continue with the lesson for Unit 5, Day 3, Perspectives on History. We'll continue with the independent work section. For the independent work section of this lesson, use your analysis of the two maps, Mercator projection and Peters projection, as well as the findings of the Project Africa report to respond in writing to the prompts provided in the next 3 slides. 1. The Mercator projection was the standard map projection for more than 500 years. Given your analysis of the map and new knowledge of its creation and characteristics, what effects do you think it had on how people perceive Africa? If the map makes Africa appear to be significantly smaller than it actually is, what influence could this have on someone's perspective about Africa? 2. The Peters projection is a map that attempted to correct the inaccurate representation of the size of the world's land masses, but was not widely used to study the world's geography until very recently. While the map more accurately represents the size of land masses, such as the continent of Africa, it distorts the shapes of the land masses. Do you think it is more important for a map to accurately represent the size or the shape of a continent? How could the accurate representation of the size of Africa compared to other continents change someone's perspective about it? 3. The 1967 Project Africa survey of student perceptions about Africa and the people who live there demonstrated that students lacked knowledge and had a negative perception of Africa. How do you think students should learn about Africa and Africans to ensure that they develop knowledge and interest instead of misconceptions or a negative perception? You may wish to pause this video now to complete the independent work section of this lesson. Check for understanding. Read the prompts below and choose one to respond to in writing. Blue space is provided in the next slide. You can also record a short speaking statement as your response or make a short video. 1. Imagine you are the cartographer, person who draws and studies maps, and you've been asked to create a new map of the world. What is the goal of your map? What do you want the people who use your map to understand about the world? As a cartographer, you have an important job and an important responsibility. What is your responsibility to the people who will use your map? What is your responsibility to the people who live in each region of the world represented on the map? How might these responsibilities conflict? 2. Imagine you are a teacher in charge of planning a unit of study about Africa and the people who live there. What sources of information will you prioritize in the unit of study? What should students read, listen to, watch, analyze, and discuss in order to build knowledge and understanding? Please write the prompt that you have selected in the upper left, and you have this blue space provided to complete your check for understanding. To wrap up, to close this lesson, apply your learning about the influence of representation in maps and other sources on perspectives that people form about a place and its people by thinking about New York City. Take a look at some of these examples of alternative maps of New York City that are linked on this slide. Then draw or describe your idea for an alternative map of New York City. Specifically, consider what your map of New York City would emphasize and why. This concludes the video series for the lesson for Unit 5, Day 3, Perspectives on History.